All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March 2021 OC HMIS user meeting. Today on our agenda, we're going to share some updates to the HMIS user dashboard, which is the dashboard that you see when you log into HMIS. We're going to share some staff updates, a quick update on the 2021 Hick and Pit, an update on the HUD system performance report, which was recently submitted. We're going to show you the OC COC dashboard, which was recently approved. We'll share an update on data quality report cards, the agenda for the next data management and performance meeting, and an update on our monthly training webinars. So Erin's going to get us started on the HMIS user dashboard. Let me just find her. Okay.
Hi, everyone. So we have published the latest HMIS user dashboard in HMIS. If you don't have it already, you should have it by the end of the day today. And so this dashboard was discussed at the last data and performance management meeting. And the purpose of the dashboard is to be a little more user-friendly for your frontline staff and allow them to easily see their contributions to HMIS and how what they're doing is impacting the data. So the dashboard has been simplified to just 5 measures, which are new enrollments, permanent housing exits, active clients, other successful exits for street outreach projects, and services provided. And so we do have project level data for each of these, as well as client level data, so that your users can kind of see what's going on. So Casey, can I share my screen?
Yes, just a second. Okay, you should be able to now.
So this dashboard is an HMIS, and if you want to access it, you can click on the dashboard tab when you log into HMIS if it doesn't already show up automatically. And so these are this is what the dashboard kind of looks like now. So we have new enrollments that were entered in the previous complete month, and it is broken down by project. So if you have multiple projects, you'll see them all here, as well as who those clients are that are showing up on this report. We have permanent housing exits in the previous complete month and who those clients are. We have active clients as of today. For street outreach, we have other successful exits. So this is, if you have street outreach projects, this will show positive exits that were not to permanent housing. And then for both the street outreach and the permanent housing exits, you can see on the client level data where those exits were to. And then the last one is the services provided in the previous complete month, as well as a list of what those services were. So like I said, this is meant to be a little bit more user-friendly for your front-end staff, since they may or may not have the time or the expertise to pull reports from HMIS. This is kind of an easy way for them to see data. You will notice that you can hover over different bars, and it will tell you the field name as well as the number. If, like for this project, there's a lot, so it's not listing every project name, you can hover and see what that project is. Also, if there's data that you want to look more closely at, you can click on these 3 buttons in the top right of each of these charts and click on download data, and then you will get your client level data in an Excel document so that you can look at that a little more closely. And the last thing, under the active clients, we also have the average, or not the average, but the days the client has been enrolled in your project, if you want to see that as well. And this dashboard does show all projects that your agency has access to. So what that means is there are some collaboratives in Orange County, and so there's a grantee and sub-grantees. And if you're and some projects are set up under the grantee agency, even though the data entry is being completed by another agency. So for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you will be able to see those other projects also. And if you are not seeing that, please enter a ticket with the help desk and we can update it for you. But that is in there also. And I think that's all I wanted to say. Are there any questions? All right, I got the thumbs up from Connor. I'm not seeing any questions, so I think that's it for me, Casey.
Okay, thank you, Erin. So next, we just have a little update on the 2021 Hick and Sheltered Pit. We want to thank everyone for all the work you've done so far. Everyone should be in contact with us by now, so we just ask that you keep checking your emails for questions that we may have about your Hick and Pit data, and we hope to, wrap up the process quickly. All right, we have a staff update. We have a new HMIS data analyst with us. So when you see her in the help desk, please give a warm welcome to Elizabeth Yuang. We are very excited to have her with us. We're also hiring to fill another HMIS data analyst role. So if you know anyone who may be interested, please forward them the link to the job posting, which we will be including in today's meeting minutes. Okay, next we're going to go over the Orange County COC dashboard, which was recently approved by the COC board. The screenshot you see here is how you can access the dashboard on our website, which is ochmis.org. You hover over the report menu and go all the way to the bottom to Orange County COC dashboard. When you get to that page, you will click on the link, which will take you right to the dashboard. So this first, the dashboard is comprised of 3 tabs. The first tab is comprised of HMIS data. We have information about the number of agencies and projects, households and clients served under the reporting period, which you see right here. This dashboard will be updated on a quarterly basis, and it will include the client's latest enrollments within that reporting period. So our next reporting period will be Q1 of 2020. On this page, we have some demographic information, and some of these charts, if you hover over them, you can see more detailed information. For example, this household composition chart, if you hover over one of the bars, you can see another chart that shows you how many households have households comprised of 1 client, 2 clients, 3 clients, 4 clients, etc. Another hover one is the entry situations chart, which can show you detailed information of exactly which residents prior to project entry was entered for that enrollment and how many there are, and same with exit destinations. Most of this page is filterable. So if you wanted to only look at emergency shelter data, you could click here, and the rest of the charts will update to only show you data for emergency shelter projects. The 2 exceptions to this, as noted here and here, are the client's fleeing DV card and the HIV/AIDS cards. These cards will not update with filtering in order to protect client privacy. Let's see. Oh, we also have a performance section down here that shows average and median days clients are experiencing homelessness prior to project entry, as well as days spent in emergency shelter or transitional housing. And here we're looking at the number of clients that gained cash income, employment, other benefits, or health insurance during the reporting period. Next, we have some data from the 2110C contact center. So this is showing us information on people who call or text the 2110C contact center during the reporting period. Up here, first, we have a comparison of the number of calls and texts the 2110C contact center received from 2019 to 2020. Again, this page is also filterable. So if you wanted to filter by service planning area, for example, you could select one service planning area and the charts will update. Here we have demographic information for contacts from the 2110C contact center. And finally, we have information on the referrals that were given to callers or texters. So these charts are broken down by SPA and by main need category and need subcategory. These are also filterable. So if you wanted to see all of the housing needs, you can just click on housing and the subcategory chart will update for you. So you can scroll to look at all the different types of housing subcategories that were referred. You can also further filter the need charts by clicking on a SPA within each category. So you have to click out of this and into the SPA that you want. So now you're looking at need subcategories for the central SPA. And the last tab has some data on the virtual front door. So this tab is showing us the number and percentage of crisis critical and vulnerable calls. If you hover over this one, you can also see the type of crisis, the type of critical situations and vulnerabilities that were recorded. Individual and family homeless contacts, and referrals to access points by SPA and by household type. Here we have housing needs by referral type, the referrals by agency, count of referrals by agency. Here we have veteran information, so veterans who were connected with housing needs and linked with care coordinators, and the types of referrals that they received. Last, we have a look at homeless contacts with HMIS profiles. So this is looking at the number of profiles that were already existing in HMIS that someone called the contact center for, or profiles that were created by 211 and represent new links to CES. In future updates, this chart will also better update to show veteran contacts. So you'll be able to see that data as well. All right, so that's the COC dashboard. If anyone has any questions or feedback, please let us know in the chat, or as always, you can submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk. Next, we recently submitted the HUD system performance measures, which is super exciting. So we want to thank everyone again for the corrections that you completed, I believe in November of last year, that helped us clean up our data in preparation for this report. Last year, we started publishing a year-over-year look at our system performance measure data. So that has been updated for this year. And if you want to take a look at it, you can go to ochmis.org, hover over our reports menu, and click on HUD System Performance Reports. So this is the year-over-year report. On the first page, there's kind of an overview of the system performance measures, what each measure is and what's included in the report. We also have on the rest of the pages, boxes in this kind of orangey color will give you little tidbits about how Orange County compares to California and the United States for the 2019 system performance measures. So the reason that we're looking at 2019 in these boxes is because the data for all of the communities is not published until later after the system performance report submission period. In the teal boxes, we have some information about data quality, which may affect the system performance measures. So we'll quickly kind of go over each of the measures, and then you can, again, visit our website if you want to look at the report in greater detail. So measure 1A has two separate measures that look at different categories of length of time clients remain homeless. For measure 1B, we're looking at emergency shelter, safe haven, transitional housing, permanent housing, other permanent housing, and rapid rehousing projects, which is based on clients' approximate date started. So because this measure is calculated using clients' self-reported date of their current episode of homelessness, it doesn't include the client's entire history of homelessness. It's just the current episode before they come into a project. And we didn't see any big changes from last year. Measure 2 is returns to homelessness, which we look at also on the project performance report. So this page gives you an overview of the entire COC and then breakdowns by project type. Measure 3 is looking at the number of homeless persons. So the first looks at a count of clients using point-in-time data. This comes from the PIT data that we submit to HUD, which includes projects that participate in HMIS and projects that don't participate in HMIS. So that's what we're working on right now with our HIC and PIT process. And because unsheltered counts only occur in odd years, you can see that for even number years, we use the same unsheltered count as the previous odd numbered year. And then the second part of measure 3 is a count of unduplicated total sheltered homeless clients using only HMIS data. All right, measure 4 is an increase in income for adults in COC funded projects only. We also look at this in the project performance reports. And as you can see, we had a slight decrease this year for both stayers and leavers, but we didn't dip below our lowest scores for either of those metrics. Measure 5 is looking at clients who are experiencing homelessness for the first time in HMIS, meaning they have no prior enrollments in HMIS. Metric 1 is looking only at first-time homelessness in emergency shelters, safe haven, and transitional projects. And metric 2 includes those same project types in addition to permanent housing project types. Measure 7 has 3 separate metrics that look at successful exits or outcomes by project type. So as we can see for street outreach, this is kind of where we have an interesting data point. The increase from 2018 to 2019 is explained by a change in the methodology we used according to local guidance regarding when street outreach projects should be exited. And we experienced another big increase for 2020, which is likely due to the increased availability of emergency shelter and permanent beds due to COVID-19 related funding. So we can expect possibly a slight decrease in this number for next year. All right. I'm gonna check the chat for any questions. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions. Thanks, Rebecca. But if you do have questions about this report, again, feel free to submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk and we'd be happy to talk about it with you. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Adriana for data quality report cards.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. I just have a quick update on the data quality report cards. we're now in the process of revamping the publication of report cards. As you know, we were not able to publish report cards last year. So we took this opportunity as to improve the report cards and to just revamp the formatting of how we present the report cards. And I just want to recap where we are in that process. So you have already completed corrections for the 3 first quarters of 2020. That was part of the corrections we sent last October for the LSA. And last week was the deadline for completed corrections for the last quarter of 2020, for quarter 4. So this means that everybody has had a chance to review and complete corrections for the whole year. So now we are in the process of analyzing the last quarter's data. And what we're planning to do is we will plan to publish the report cards for the whole year at the same time. So we will let you know when that has been published. We're expecting to publish that very, very soon. And as always, we will send you an email. So just please be in the lookout for that. And once again, I want to thank you all for working on your data quality. I know last year was very, very rough for everybody. So I really appreciate your work on this. And are there any questions?
Not seeing questions so far. If anyone has questions about the data quality report cards during the meeting, go ahead and leave them in the chat. Otherwise, you can submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Adriana. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Linda for an update on our monthly training webinars.
So good morning, everyone. I would like to thank those of you who participated in our HMIS Part 2 training, monthly training webinar. We will be posting the recording, the minutes, and also the slides on our OCHMIS page under reports, so please check that out. If you haven't already, please take a quick minute to share your thoughts on the training by using the survey link that has been included on this slide. So next month, we will be looking at the Looker training webinar, which will be taking place on Thursday, March 25th at 10 a.m. The training will go over the fundamentals and the different functions that Looker has to offer, and how you can use those features to build your own custom report. So I do highly recommend this training. This training does require you to register. So please use this link on the slide to register, and then also see the meeting ID and the passcode below. And we hope to see you all there. The data and performance management meeting this month will be going over the domestic violence task force field. And then we also have a presentation from Friendship Shelter, which will be going over the inequity dashboard. And then last but not least, we have the homeless prevention project performance report. Please join us on March 11th at 1:30 using the link and meeting information below. And we hope to see you all there.
All right, so that's all the content we had for you all today. If there are any questions or anything you'd like to see demonstrated, go ahead and leave those in the chat box below. Let's see, can we please post the registration link for the Looker workshop? Yes, Rebecca, we will be including that in the materials that we send out today. And actually just give me a moment and I can put that in the chat box. All right, The registration link has been posted in the chat box, so you can go ahead and click that link and register for the upcoming Looker training. I'm going to give it a few more moments for questions. All right, looks like questions are slowing down. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Be on the lookout for an email containing today's meeting materials. And if you have a question that we didn't get to, please submit a ticket to the HMIS help desk, and we'll see you next month. Thanks everyone.